On Tuesdays this morning, ITV hosts Holly Willoughby and Philip Schofield welcomed resident chef James Martin onto the show. The TV chef's first cooking demonstration showed viewers how to make the perfect Victoria sponge, while Holly and Philip sampled one had already made. The 49-year-old, who is well known for his love of using butter in his dishes, discussed why putting margarine in a cake is not a good idea. As he began demonstrating how to make a classic Victoria sponge, James explained, "You start off by using butter. Equal quantities of butter, there is 250 grams of butter, 250 grams of sugar, 250 grams of self-raising flour, so the sugar is plain caster sugar and the butter is butter. Never ever use margarine," the chef went on to warn. "That goes in here," he explained as he put all of the ingredients into a mixing bowl. Holly asked, "Does it matter if it's salted or unsalted?" "It doesn't matter in this," James told. "I've seen a lot of pastry chefs put a little bit of salt in there anyway, just a bit of table salt." Continuing with the demonstration, James said, "What you do is you beat it all together, and this is a classic Victoria sponge as opposed to a sponge if you're asking a pastry chef to make it. You would whip up the eggs with the sugar and then fold in the flour. There's no butter in a classic sponge as I would know it, but Victoria sponge is very different." The chef later went on to warn that people shouldn't store the baked Victoria sponge in the fridge. He joked you'd need to eat the entire cake within 8 hours. "Don't store it in the fridge," he added. "Particularly a Victoria sponge because of the amount of butter in there. It's not like a classic sponge as we know it. It's not as light, and if you put it in the fridge the butter sets. You just have to eat it, you have about 8 hours to scoff the lot." Following the segment, viewers took to social media to comment on James' use of butter in his cooking. Steve tweeted, "More butter needed, I believe." Rachel penned, "Surely James is fighting every instinct to add more butter, poor lad." While Dave said, 5 seconds in and we've got our first butter mention. Sick, This Morning airs weekdays at 10 a.m. on ITV.